Hello everybody, it's Psych Chrissy here and welcome to your Tuesday night favourite psychology content of all time. I might be getting a bit ahead of myself there. Just putting it out there. Welcome guys to the it's 8 p.m. It's 7 p.m. I'm still on old time. 7 p.m. Life Crusher Live. I'm here every Tuesday night delivering you some awesome tips and trips. Can't even speak, and the dogs have been going nuts for the last 10 minutes. I just warned them before. I said, listen guys, I've got to go live, so you just need to shut the hell up. Bringing you all your tips and tricks, your wellness content. So I'm really excited about the topic tonight because I don't know about you, but this is an absolute pain in the behind. Procrastination. Wave your hands in the air if you're a procrastinator. I think it gets to us all at certain times. So, I'm really going to get into, what it is, what it isn't, why it happens, and how the heck you fix it. Because, it's a very frustrating experience for a lot of people, and if we were to define what procrastination is, it's just simply that inability to take action. You're sort of fumbling around and there's, a lack of focus and attention and goal-directed activity. But it's not through lack of wanting to do something. It's just that inability to be able to move forward to take the action due to a few things. And I'm going to talk to you about what some of the factors are that impact on What is wrong with me tonight? I know what's wrong with me. I've been on a juice cleanse today. So I'm on a juice cleanse today. I ordered these juices. So I've been on the liquid diet all day just to do a bit of a cleanse. Strangely, I don't feel hungry, but I just feel a bit sort of, I don't know. Well, clearly I I can't get my words out. So maybe that's the product of the juices. But they've been delicious, and this is not a promo for anyone, but Karmic Juices, everyone, total time saver. Like you just order a day or 2 days or 5 days and they deliver them to your door, because I don't know if anyone's tried to juice. It is an absolute pain in the behind once you get all of the, the bloody, what's it called, the blenders and the veggies it's an absolute pain in the butt. So if you can order that stuff, I think that's a hell of a lot easier than trying to do it yourself. Maybe that's why I can't speak, is because I'm juicing. Anyway, so let's talk about procrastination. I've just noticed that probably Facebook is not showing me my comments again, which I wasn't going to say the F word then. I was going to say freaking. I'm going to bring it up so that I can actually see if you've got any questions. Gee, Facebook is frustrating. Just so annoying. Where are you, Infinity Wellness? Anyway, so procrastination, what is it? So procrastination, and I think I just want to sort of get this out there a little bit in terms of just making people realise that procrastination is not laziness, all right? And I think that's why people beat themselves up a little bit, because they confuse procrastination with just not being bothered to do something. And in fact, that is not the case with procrastination. Laziness is better defined as people not taking action, but generally being okay with it. So someone that has lazy sort of tendencies kind of bask in that. They're not too fussed about it. They're like, yeah, and they own it. I'm lazy and I don't care, and it's actually not bothering me in the slightest. So that's why procrastination is different, because a procrastinator is absolutely bothered by what's going on. So here we go. I've got your comments now. Hey, Caitlin. Hey, Sam. Sam, a big time procrastinator. Well, welcome to the broadcast. You're in the right place. Caitlin, you're in the right place as well. If I can get my words out tonight, because juice is affecting my brain. So it's not laziness. So don't let yourself off the hook, guys. You're not a lazy person. you're just potentially suffering from some of the difficulties that I'm about to explain. Now, so it's not laziness, and it's not relaxing either. You know, sometimes when people get a little bit distracted and they start procrastinating, they sort of palm it off as just needing a bit of a break, or, you know, because if you think about procrastination as an experience, you are not relaxed after you've been procrastinating for a good 10, 20 minutes, half an hour, an hour. No, sirree, Bob. In fact, you probably come back 10 times more frustrated as a result of your procrastination. So procrastination is definitely not relaxation or having some time out either, because the aim of that is to really come back refreshed, in essence. So procrastination is just a desire, obviously, to do something, but just a consistent inability to be able to troubleshoot that plan, move forward and take action. Now, why does this happen? You know, why? And often we sit there and think, why have I just kind of gazed off into the sunset, you know, for the last 20 minutes? And I must admit, like, when I get to the end of a work day, I am quite prone to procrastination, and I often sort of, I don't know, I feel like it's a bit of brain overload sometimes. The brain just starts to go, listen, you know, it's time to tap out at this time of night. So, Chrissy, it's pretty much past your bedtime. But yeah, even during the day, you can get caught out. And one of the things that I can find is, or one of the reasons that I can find, and potentially one of the biggest reasons, is that there's just a demotivation that's evident because what you're doing or what you're working towards lacks connection to things that are important to you. So that old to-do list, I mean, it's, you know, and we sometimes are victim of a 3,000 item to-do list, all right? And in my strategy section, I'm going to explain why a 3,000 item to-do list is a very bad idea, all right? But, you know, often we get caught up in the monotony of the to-do list and the tasks, and we actually lose connection with the importance and the whys of why we need to get those things done. So in that moment, we get very distracted, and we get, you know, we tend to gravitate towards other meaningless tasks as a way of avoiding the mundane, avoiding the boringness, avoiding the lack of stimulation associated with those tasks, because at that point in time, there's not a lot of meaning there. You know, you're not connecting those to-do items. Like if you think about, you know, if your to-do list was full of your favourite things to do in the universe, how motivated would you be? You know, and if it was truly aligned with things that you found valuable and meaningful and you felt fulfilled as a result of doing those items on your to-do list, you just wouldn't procrastinate, all right, because the meaning and the connection is there. So one of the things that's really important is that when you're formulating these to-do lists, that there is a bigger picture motivation, that you are actually touching base with the whys. You know, I'm doing these items even though, you know, I don't know, putting together an Excel spreadsheet shopping list seems to be the most mundane task on a Sunday that you could do. And I don't do that, but I don't know, I'm just thinking of the most boring task that you could ever do. But if you think about that from big picture scenario, if that shopping list is about you taking steps towards living a healthy and more enriched lifestyle and feeling better about yourself, and, you know, it might be just wanting to be more energized, wanting to be more organized around the meal prep. Now, that's a hell of a lot more of a motivator than sitting there opening an Excel spreadsheet and going, oh my God, I really can't be bothered doing this to-do list or this shopping list, you know, because it's not connected to your whys. All right. So making sure that you have touch base with that is really important, even if the tasks seem menial and boring. If you go, they might be menial and boring in essence, but the big picture is that they're going to get me to a certain place, or the reward is this, or I'm going to be able to access this opportunity, or I'm going to be able to do this, that, and the other thing, and that's really important to me, okay? So that's really important. The other reason why people can tend to procrastinate is something that we call decision paralysis. So basically this is I think this is very common in the lives that we live these days, because think about your average day, all right? Like, it's full of decisions. It's full of priorities. We live very busy lives. It can be very overwhelming, and we can be pushed and pulled in a million different directions a million times a day, in the busy lifestyles that we're living these days. So decision paralysis is about confusion or becoming overwhelmed about what's a priority. All right. So often when we have things that we need to do, one of the biggest struggles that leads to procrastination is figuring out, well, what do I really need to work on first? And when you tap out and you just can't make a decision, it is a form of avoidance. So the fact that it's just too difficult or challenging, or you can't seem to get your head around what is a priority and what needs to be done first, can lead into this experience of decision paralysis, distraction, procrastination, avoidance, all of those things. So it is important, when, and I'm going to talk about critical item lists, but, it is important to actually evaluate and have a think about priorities, because often we can fall victim to the fact, or not so much the fact, but the catastrophization of the fact that everything needs to be done. Everything's a priority. Needs to be done yesterday. I don't know where to start. Whereas if you just take a breath, stop, slow down and go, right, what is the worst case scenario of me not doing this? And what's the worst case scenario of me not doing this, and maybe sort of prioritizing in terms of, potential impacts or consequences of not getting things done. But even the other way around, potential rewards and biggest gains and, highest payoffs as a result of engaging in certain tasks. Okay, so it can go both ways. Some people procrastinate because they just ignore the value of time, or they lose connection with the value of time. So, and we all do, we all do think that we've got this finite amount of time on our hands. And in reality, we will never get those minutes, those seconds, those moments in time back ever again, and it's so fascinating. I love to watch documentaries on successful people and entrepreneurs, and on the weekend, and I don't know whether any of you guys have watched this, but on Netflix at the moment there is a documentary on Bill Gates, right? So, and it's really interesting because when you look at Bill Gates and the way that he manages his time, it is off the scale. This man is like scheduled within an inch of his life because he puts so much value in time, and the fact that he'll never get that back, that he just sort of schedules himself like a crazy person, because he appreciates the fact that time is limited and he wants to make an impact as much as he can in terms of this dog, I tell you. Fonzie! Sorry, everyone. He's just so frustrating. I swear he waits till I get on the live. So he holds time is really valuable, and I really encourage everybody to consider that, because time is limited. And then the last one is really a lack of self-discipline. So, and this does feed into, if you looked at Bill Gates's, schedule, and I just had a thought there. It was Bill Gates, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was. His self-discipline revolves around scheduling, routines, structure, and I suppose committing to that and not allowing that to change in any way, shape or form. So that is a form of self-discipline, actually diarising and planning and committing to that and holding yourself accountable. And if you don't have any of those structures in place, then it is hard to potentially stay on track. So one of the things that I do recommend, if that you are prone to some procrastination, I think it's about mapping and planning, creating structure and routine in your day, minimizing distractions. So, the phone is a shocking one. That's probably one of my biggest procrastinating items or distraction points, that I need to work and then I've got notifications and stuff popping up all of the time, taking my attention away to tasks that I need to be engaging in. So limiting all of that is really, really important. The last thing that I will encourage everybody to do that relates to that 3,000 item to-do list that I just said just doesn't work, is something that I call a critical item list. And you guys may or may not have heard me talk about this before, but basically the critical item list is the things that you need to do today, and it's limited to 3 items only, all right? So it's about being able to move away from the overwhelm of having 50,000 things to do, a massive list, struggling with decision paralysis because you just don't even know where to start, and really refining that down and committing and, choosing, going through that prioritization process and going, right, I've done all of my thinking and my, my consequences or my rewards as a result of all those tasks, and these are the 3 that I'm going to focus on today, and I'm just going to put these other things over to the side, okay, so that I don't get sort of overwhelmed and distracted by looking at those other things and I start working on things that I actually shouldn't be, all right? So in a nutshell, guys, procrastination, I think everybody's prone to it. The things that feed into it, or the factors that feed into it, is decision paralysis, or just inability to prioritize, ignorance of the value of time, really not attaching meaningful sort of insight or perspective to your to-do list, having a to-do list that is way too long and not targeted, so trying to boil that down into 3 items, and a lack of self-discipline, which can be remedied, I suppose, by getting your structure, your routine, limiting distractions, minimizing sort of things that can take you away from the task at hand so that you can remain focused. So there we go. I think everybody's prone to a little bit of procrastination every now and again, but I hope that those tips and those strategies are something that you can just take away now and just start putting into action to make yourself feel more productive, feel less frustrated with yourself, less annoyed, and just commit and feel like you're just getting shit done. So there we go, guys. Thank you for putting up with Mr. Fonzie tonight that decided to interrupt on the broadcast. And go forth and reduce your procrastination with those strategies that I've given you guys. And I hope it's been helpful. I'll see you next week.